Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark of the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 1976 Spanish psychological drama Cria Cuevos. Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm reviewing every movie that has 100% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and Cria Cuevos has a 100% fresh rating from the critics and a 94% fresh rating from the audience. It was directed by Carlos Sara, stars Geraldine Chaplin, who is one of Charlie Chaplin's daughters, as an older Anna, and Maria, and also stars Anna Torrent as a younger Anna. She was also in the movie Spirit of the Beehive, which is the movie that I plan on watching. Now, the title of this movie roughly translates to Raise Crows, which was derived from the quote, "Raise crows and they will gouge your eyes out." Now, this movie is not only considered one of the greatest movies of the 1970s, it's also considered one of the greatest movies of the 20th century. And after watching this movie, I 100% absolutely agree with that, and I can't fathom why this movie isn't on more top 100 of all times list. Top 100 foreign films, IMDb top 250, letterbox narrative movies. This movie is just phenomenal, and it's way better than a lot of the foreign films I've seen on a lot of these top 100 foreign films of all times list, and it's just a travesty that this movie isn't on it. I've never heard of this movie until I watched it for this review, and I'm so glad that I watched it, and I'm so glad I ran into it, because it is just a touching movie. It is emotional, and it is just phenomenal. It is a fantastic film to watch. So essentially, an older Anna is doing an interview of some sort, and she's talking about her life when she was younger. She lived with her mother, father, and her sister and brother. Now, her mother died at a pretty young age of stomach cancer. Her mother was Maria and is played by Geraldine Chaplin, but older Anna, is also played by Geraldine Chaplin, so that can become a little confusing if you're watching the movie and you're like, wait, how come they look exactly the same? Is this the same actress? Yes, because she's playing two different parts. Now, she dies of stomach cancer, and there's a point in the movie where she is on her bed, and she's just writhing in pain because she's in so much pain from this cancer, and she just does such a phenomenal acting job here. Geraldine Chaplin is an amazing actress. I've never seen her in anything else, but in this movie, she's absolutely perfect. Absolutely amazing. So, her mom ends up dying of stomach cancer, and then her father, she discovers her father is dead one day, and a woman comes out of her father's bedroom, and what has happened is that he has died during the act of sex. Now, IMDb says he died during an act of adultery. I don't know if that's correct or not. Because I thought the mom was already dead at this point, but maybe not. But so he dies during sex, and now the children have to go live, I believe, with their aunt, is who they live with. Now, her father is someone who is someone who cheats all the time on his wife when his wife was alive. He even tries to cheat with the maid. I think he cheats with his wife's sister, the aunt. He just sleeps around with absolutely everyone he possibly can, and the children know this. At least small Anna, young Anna, knows this because she has flashbacks of seeing him actually in the act of like making out with other women and fondling other women. So she knows this is the case, and she knows that this is going on. Now Anna and Maria and Anna's father apparently don't get along very well. There is a really traumatic scene in this movie where the children are dressed up as their parents and they're acting out like an argument that their parents would have that involve the adultery that the father does. And it is heartbreaking. It is a heartbreaking scene because the kids are not only acting out what they hear their parents do, but they understand what's going on. They understand what their father's doing, and it's just utterly, utterly heartbreaking.
Ya, ya. ¿Te crees que soy estúpida o qué? Sé muy bien con quién has estado. Has estado con esa... Con Rosa has estado.
¿Con Rosa?
Sí, con Rosa, y cállate.
No digas tonterías. Siempre con esos celos ridículos. Yo solo te quiero a ti, Amelia. Aunque a veces mi paciencia tiene un límite.
Now, kind of on a side part of this plot is that young Anna has this powdery substance which she believes is poison. Her mom told her one time that she didn't need this powdery substance anymore. And it was poison. She doesn't need it, and she gave it to Anna. So Anna thinks that she has this ability to take lives whenever she wants because she can just slip them this poison. Anna also is kind of obsessed with death. I mean, she's been surrounded by death her whole life. She lost her mom. She lost her dad. And there's a scene in the movie where she's imagining herself on top of a building and jumping off of the building and committing suicide. But she's with her aunt, and she doesn't necessarily like her aunt that much because her aunt has a lot of rules and doesn't allow them to speak badly about her sister, even though they really don't. I don't understand. She comes in one time when they're acting out this scene of the parents arguing, and she gets really mad about it, and I couldn't understand why, but young Anna doesn't like her aunt. So one day she decides to slip her this powdery substance, which she believes is poison. I think maybe it's baking powder, but she slips it to her and she thinks her aunt is dead. So she goes to bed really happy. She goes to bed really excited. She wakes up the next morning and her aunt wakes her up. So her aunt did not die. There's also a scene with young Anna's grandmother where young Anna's grandmother is mute. She's not able to talk, but she can hear. She's in a wheelchair, and she likes to be wheeled over to this like collage of pictures from her youth. Just different pictures of her and her husband and her and her children, and just a collage of pictures, and she likes to look at them. And Anna asks her if she enjoys the life that she's living, and the grandmother says no, and then she says, "Do you want to live?" And the grandmother nods no, like, "I don't want to live, I want to die." And so Anna presents the powdery substance to her grandmother, and her grandmother kind of laughs and just like says, "No, no, I don't want that." And which confuses Anna because she thought that her grandmother wanted to die, and she possesses this power to kill people. But we learn later on in the movie that it's actually not poison; it's baking powder. But the real, for me, the fantastic part of this movie, the great parts of this movie are the acting. Now, when you have a young Anna played by Anna Torrent, if you have a movie with a child actors can make or break a movie that they're in. The movie Shane is a great Western. If you take out that annoying child who yells Shane all the time, it's a fantastic Western. But when you put that child in Shane, it's a terrible Western. The movie is almost unwatchable to me. I can't watch the movie Shane because of that child. So done really poorly, it destroys the movie. Done really well, it makes the movie fantastic. And this is probably one of the best child actors I've seen in a long time. She is phenomenal. She delivers her lines beautifully. She is just a great actress at such a young age, and that's not normal to see. But her and Geraldine Chaplin are both phenomenal. They really bring a lot of emotion to this movie. You really feel for them. You really you hurt for them. Really, I was like devastated for these children. My heart was aching for these children because of how what their lives are and what they had to put up with their parents and how their parents would argue all the time. But also, I felt bad for older Anna because seems like she knew that her husband was cheating on her. That's why they had all kinds of fights. But she still stayed with him, and he basically did whatever he wanted. And he was like the man of the house, and you're not going to argue with me. I'm going to do whatever I want type of guy. So I really felt bad for her too. But the family dynamic of this movie is heartbreaking, but it's also just amazing to watch it unfold. I love this movie. I thought this movie was absolutely fantastic. This movie is for sure a masterpiece to me. It's going to be very high on my list, I think. I still have like 85 movies I have to watch for this list, but at the moment it's in the top 10 of what I've watched so far. It is just spectacular. For a movie that I've never heard of before, never seen on, like I said, never seen on any greatest of all times list, and it definitely belongs there. It is just so amazing. I recommend everyone go watch this movie if you want a movie that has a fantastic script, a fantastic plot, phenomenal acting, great story. It's just my type of movie. This is my kind of movie. This is the kind of movie that I love and I want to see. So I give this a 10 out of 10, and that's back-to-back 10 out of 10s because I just gave one to Mirror also, which I don't do that often. I can't remember the last time I did a back-to-back. It was probably the 1950s because there's like 5 movies I gave 10s to in the 1950s. But thought this movie was fantastic. Really happy that I watched it. Might end up it may one day end up on my top 10 favorite movies of all times list. It's really that good. I was absolutely blown away by it. I don't have a lot of more words to describe how great I thought this movie was. But yeah, it's easily one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. It was really quite a surprise. I was not ready to enjoy this movie as much as I did. So anyway, it is a 10 out of 10. I hope you join me next time, probably tomorrow, when I review the movie. I think it's called Judo. Judo? Yeah, it's from 1990, so the 1990s were a pretty good decade for movies, so I'm optimistic that it's going to be a good movie. Thank you. I hope you have a great day.